This podcast is made possible in part by Big Bear Retreat Center, offering meditation retreats and programs led by renowned mindfulness teachers. They're located just 2 hours from Los Angeles in the beautiful Southern California mountains. Go on a retreat to remember, realign, and reconnect with self, others, and nature. Hello, and welcome to 12-Minute Meditation, a weekly podcast from mindful.org that offers mindfulness meditations backed by neuroscience. If you've been practicing, you know that 12 minutes of meditation a day can yield benefits like increased attention, focus, creativity, calm, resilience, and compassion. The latest scientific research supports this knowledge. So, on this podcast, we invite you to do your 12-minute practice with guided meditations from today's leading mindfulness experts. We share a new practice each week, providing you with new ways to experience some of those benefits day to day. Before we dive in, we have some wonderful news to share. Thanks to your unwavering support, we're relaunching Mindful Magazine. The next issue will be the 2025 annual edition, on sale in December, filled with inspiring stories, thought-provoking articles, and practical tips to enrich your mindfulness journey. We've also expanded our range of digital and print subscription options to be more flexible and better serve the support and inspiration you need for your well-being journey. This revival is all about you, our vibrant community, and we're excited to once again bring you a magazine that reflects and celebrates our shared values and interests. You can pre-order the magazine or subscribe at shop.mindful.org. I'm Chelsea Arsenal, host of 12-Minute Meditation at mindful.org. Most of us know what it feels like to be our toughest critic, caught in patterns of self-doubt or self-sabotage that keep us from fully embracing who we are. While these moments arise, we may feel tension or even resistance within ourselves. In this meditation, Angela Stubbs gently guides us inward, helping us explore these patterns with compassion and kindness. Through 6 stages, she invites us to bring awareness to these feelings, accepting ourselves without judgment and affirming our worth. With each stage, we cultivate a sense of warmth and resilience, creating space to move beyond self-doubt and reconnect with our inner strength. This practice offers a chance to release the hold of self-criticism, embracing a more gentle, patient approach towards ourselves. Angela Stubbs is a trauma-focused mindfulness teacher and head of PR at Winona, where she leads wellness programs supporting women through premenopause and menopause. With extensive training, she guides heart-centered meditations and is currently working on a poetry collection exploring memory and healing. You can subscribe to 12-Minute Meditation while you're on mindful.org or wherever you find your favorite podcast. And if you're moved to leave us a review, we'd be grateful, and so will other listeners. See, your review helps them to decide whether 12-minute meditation is for them. But, for now, for you, here's Angela Stubbs.
Welcome. My name is Angela Stubbs, and I am here to lead a meditation on overcoming self-sabotage and meeting that with some self-compassion. I thought today we could take a quick look at the ways in which we might see self-sabotage or the behaviors of sabotage show up in our lives, and to see if we might meet ourselves with some tenderness and some loving awareness around the ways in which these patterns and moments show up in our lives, and see how we might work with them. So that's going to look different for everybody, but the goal of today's meditation is to really approach some of our patterns of behavior and our tendencies without judgment, with some kindness and hopefully with a little grace. So I'd like to encourage everybody as we get started here today to go ahead and find a comfortable posture or position, either seated or lying down. And go ahead and just gently close your eyes, or if it feels better for you, just lower your gaze and take a nice deep breath in, feeling your chest expand and the belly expand with the breath, and pausing for a moment at the top of that breath and slowly releasing it, allowing your body to settle. And continuing the breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just allowing yourself to notice the sensations of the breath, and also giving yourself this moment to be a time just for you, to relax and be here without thinking you should be anywhere else, doing anything else. We'd like to have you bring your attention inward, noticing any sensations in your body, feeling the weight of your body supported by the ground or chair, releasing any tension you may notice. That tension lives in different places for all of us. So that tension might be present for you in your face. You might notice it in your jaw or in your forehead. Maybe it's something that you notice in your eyes. So relaxing the eyes, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the forehead, unfurrowing your brow, taking a look at the ways in which you might also hold tension in your shoulders, noticing if they are up around your ears, if you can relax those shoulders back and down. Noticing if there's tension in the legs, the hips, and seeing if you can just find that center of gravity by maybe rocking side to side ever so gently, just to remind yourself that you're sitting, and just opening up the hips if you can. And as you notice the sensations in the body and where you might be feeling tightness or tension, just allowing yourself to be here and be fully connected to the experience of just sitting and being. And now bringing some gentle awareness to any patterns you might be aware of that you would think or would consider them to be self-sabotage in your life. You don't need to deeply dive into what that is for you. We're not looking at ways to judge ourselves for the ways that we notice self-sabotage or patterns of behavior that don't serve us, to be a part of an ongoing narrative that we're helping to make bigger and worse for ourselves, but rather taking inventory and just noticing how might that show up for you? And it's going to look different for everyone. But we're just trying to recognize, does that look like people pleasing for you? Maybe it looks like putting people's needs ahead of your own, or it might show up as not speaking up when you have something to say. Um, Maybe you have a habit of holding back, or just maybe it's that harsh inner critic noticing moments of self-judgment, or that inner critic that never shuts up. We all have one. So noticing those spaces in your life where those narratives might be more prevalent, and shifting the way that we think about those stories, you know, noticing that the patterns and the thoughts and behaviors around self-sabotage are just ways that we've learned to cope with things in our lives, ways that we've learned to respond to stimuli in our lives. And all we're doing is seeing if we can just observe those patterns and those behaviors with some kindness. So the goal here is not to beat ourselves up about the fact that these things exist, but rather embrace them with some kindness and a little tenderness. Just seeing if you can think about the places it shows up for you. That's the only goal right now. And paying attention to how difficult it may or may not be for you to offer some compassion to those parts of yourself. One way that this gets a little easier is when we envision extending the warmth and the tenderness and the care that we would give to a friend or to someone that we care about. The way we would act towards someone who might share their perceived weakness with us or their perceived shortcoming with us, and extend that same kind of compassion and love and tenderness to yourself. So just giving yourself that love. And maybe for those of you, if this feels comfortable or appropriate, as you breathe in, you're just going to envision drawing in that compassion for yourself. Maybe placing a hand on your heart. I like to place two hands on my heart. So placing your right hand on your heart and then putting your left hand on top of it and really holding that space there in the heart for yourself. And as you breathe in and out, just thinking about on the out breath, letting go of any of that self-criticism, of that inner critic, that harsh narrative or dialogue. Just releasing that judgment. And as you do this, just observing your thoughts, letting your thoughts around this topic just pass by. We like to attach a lot of meanings to the thoughts as they arise, so the goal here today is just allowing them to be here, noticing that they're here, and not needing to do anything about it. Not justifying to yourself or to anyone else why it's here, how you feel about it. So whether you're thinking of something and you feel self-doubt or frustration, or that fun inner critic decides to pay you a visit, see if you can observe it without engaging it or pushing it away. Maybe you want to give yourself an inner mantra of something that reminds you that you are worthy of kindness. You're good enough as you are. Thinking of something that feels right for you to repeat in your own mind for the next minute. And if self-sabotaging thoughts arise, just greet them with compassion and remind yourself of your wholeness, your capacity for change. And then just, if your hand is still on your heart, taking a moment to acknowledge the feeling that's still there. Taking a nice final deep breath in, filling yourself with compassion, and exhaling slowly, releasing any remaining tension. And when you feel ready, gently opening your eyes and bringing the sense of mindful self-compassion with you as you re-enter your day.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of 12-Minute Meditation from mindful.org. I hope you enjoyed practicing with us today. We'll be back in 7 days with another meditation practice to enrich your journey. But in the meantime, stay connected by signing up for our free newsletter at mindful.org/sign up for compelling insights and actionable ideas to enrich your everyday life. That's mindful.org/SIGNUP.